In his 1984 State of the Union address, President Ronald Reagan called on NASA to develop a permanently manned space outpost and do it within a decade. That sparked the most complex engineering project in history, the International Space Station. 5 different space agencies representing 15 countries cooperated on the $100 billion project. Assembly began in 1998, and it took 40 missions and 13 years to complete. Roughly the size of a U.S. football field and weighing more than 860,000 pounds, it's the largest structure humans have ever put into space. But it costs an estimated $3 billion a year to maintain, with some estimates putting that annual cost at $4 billion by 2020. NASA's last annual budget was $19 billion, but so far, we don't know what the Trump administration has in store for space funding and research goals. Both the U.S. and Russia's space agencies have said they'll use the ISS until at least 2024, by which time a commercially run outpost may be available.
The ISS has a pretty weird orbit. It orbits at a 51.6-degree inclination, which looks like this. It was originally supposed to fly in a 28-degree orbit, good for launching from Florida, but unreachable from launch sites in Kazakhstan. The orbit changed to 51.6 degrees to bring in Russia. That number might seem arbitrary, but it was calculated down to the 10th of a degree. With this large inclination, the station passes more populated areas. The specific 10th of a degree comes because launching from Baikonur at exactly 51.6 degrees, the rocket would barely scratch the border of China. This ensured that no spent booster stages from Russian rockets would ever fall on Chinese soil. But the 51.6 degree inclination affects how the station is oriented with comparison to the Sun and Earth. The 51 degree orbit of the ISS means at certain times of year, the station stays in constant sunlight for long stretches. In those periods, the low angle of the Sun causes one set of arrays to cast shadows on the others, cutting power. Even worse, parts of the same array can be in shadow, while other sections and their supporting beams take the full heat of the Sun. These beams that give structure to the wobbly solar panels are vulnerable. Even 20 minutes of uneven shadowing can make sections heat and expand at different rates, twisting the mass and risking damage to the entire array. To help solve this, NASA opened up a $30,000 prize to whoever could create a program that would optimize the solar panel's position while preventing problematic shadowing. This is what they came up with: a smooth turn of solar panels with slight delays to avoid these shadows. You can learn more about the problems with the solar panels on the ISS on the Real Engineering YouTube channel.
Earth. NASA says we go into space by launching into Earth orbit. Do you know how high above Earth the space station orbits? No, you don't know? I'll tell you. 3/8 of an inch. And we tell ourselves that that's space. Excuse me, that's just driving around the block.
Only a handful of people know what it's like to be an astronaut. To float freely in orbit, unbound by gravity. to work, learn, and live in space. You can be one of them. You'll never look at the Earth the same way again.
Let's talk about space food. In the early days of space exploration, food was mostly squeezed out of tubes and brought up in dehydrated packets. But today, we can have quite a variety of food. There's all sorts of things that we normally consume on Earth that we have here in space. We just need some minor adaptations. In the case of sandwiches, we had to substitute for bread, so we decided to use tortillas. But why? Mostly it's because bread, of course, makes crumbs. When you eat them on Earth, the crumbs fall down to the ground. But here, crumbs are just going to float away. On the other hand, the tortillas that we use are heat treated and specially packaged in an oxygen-free environment to prevent mold from growing. They're packed in packages like this. And thanks to that process, a tortilla like this can be good for 18 months. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our tortilla. We're going to get our peanut butter, squirt it onto the tortilla, get our honey, squirt that on there, and we will have a peanut butter honey sandwich in space. Open up the tortilla, and voila, a weightless tortilla. Okay, we got one tortilla. Whoa, got away. Take my peanut butter, open it up. Can't rip it. Fortunately, we have space scissors. They're attached by a tether so they don't go floating off. Take the scissors, cut open the peanut butter pouch. Peanut butter's open, squeeze it onto the tortilla, carefully. And now a little honey. Hey, I noticed something cool about the honey. Instead of the bubble sitting up at the top, because there's no gravity to make it float up, the bubble is floating in the middle. Okay, all closed up, and the envelope of peanut butter and honey is ready to eat. Not too bad. Last piece of my sandwich. It's been pretty delicious, but my hands are all sticky. Gotta clean up. We don't have a sink. We don't have running water. Gotta wash yourself up some other way. Disinfectant wipes. All cleaned up. Nice and hygienic on the space station. This goes in the trash. Lunch is over. Delicious.
The winner of the Booker Prize 2024 is Samantha Harvey for Orbital. Thank you.
Samantha is currently sitting with her head in her hands, but is being encouraged to stand and make her way to the podium. Hugs from those around her. Samantha's book, Orbital, is her 5th novel. She also wrote a non-fiction book about insomnia. I'm not sure how much sleep she's going to get tonight. Clearly very emotional as she hugs her friends and family around her and her supporters and her agents. Her book, Orbital, is set over the course of 24 hours on an international space station. We listen to the thoughts of its astronauts and cosmonauts over the 16 orbits, 16 sunrises and 16 sunsets. And here comes Samantha Harvey, the winner of this year's Booker Prize for Fiction. Getting her trophy from last year's winner, Paul Lynch, but first a hug from the chair of judges, Edmund Duval. Oh my God, I can hear her saying. And Samantha, we'd love you to say a few words.
I was not expecting that. We were told that we weren't allowed to swear in our speech. So there goes my speech. It was just one swear word 150 times. Gosh, I have no idea how to deal with this. I have not expected it. I'm completely overwhelmed. I remember watching this last year when Paul won. Paul is a friend of mine, and I remember sitting in a hotel room I was due to be on the Today program, or start the week the next day, so I was in London, and Paul won, and I was just completely overwhelmed vicariously, and now here I am. I can't believe it. I have so many people I want to thank. I know I don't have very long. My amazing publisher, Jonathan Cape, my wonderful agent, Anna Weber, all the Booker judges, my family who have loved me and supported me all my life, my readers, the fellow shortlisted authors, thank you. I suppose it's fair to say that no Booker speech has ever been made in a perfect world, but it's hard to not acknowledge the imperfections of the world that we live in today. We are, as Carl Sagan said in his book Cosmos, the local embodiment of a consciousness grown to self-awareness. We are star stuff pondering the stars. And I would add that we are also earth stuff pondering the earth. And I think my novel is an exercise in that pondering. To look at the earth from space is a bit like a child looking into a mirror and realizing for the first time that the person in the mirror is herself. What we do to the earth, we do to ourselves. And what we do to life on earth, human and otherwise, we do to ourselves. Our loyalties, Sagan says, are to the species and to the planet. We need to speak for Earth, he says. I would like to dedicate this prize, therefore, to everybody who does speak for and not against the Earth, for and not against the dignity of other humans, other life, and all the people who speak for and call for and work for peace. This is for you. Thank you.
I just remember just kind of this instant sense of awe in seeing Earth from space that way.
I started to tear up a little bit just from the beauty of our planet. My definition of it is what happens to you, to a person, emotionally, how they perceive things or the world after being in space.
I remember feeling this connection to it like I never really had, like down here in the middle of it. I tried to describe it to my son, who was 7 when I flew the first time. And the best way that I could think to do that, just the kind of the visual of it, was to say to him, imagine you're looking at the brightest light bulb you've ever seen. And you splatter it with all the colors that you know Earth to be, and you turn it on, and it's like you almost can't look at it because it's just so stunning, so glowing and bright and vibrant. And that's what looking at Earth was like. It was like this bright light bulb of earthly colors, and it always glowed.
My first reaction was, this is too beautiful for people to look at. And we're not meant to see this. It's like a secret. I actually turned my head. And then I realized that that was probably not the right thing to do because I was here in space and I should continue to look at the planet. So I looked back, and then I got a bit emotional, and I started to tear up a little bit just from the beauty of our planet.
My first flight was what we would call a long duration mission. I spent a little over 3 months on the International Space Station. From space, at night, you look at the planet and it's like it's alive. You're watching it. To watch these thunderstorms across the planet and to realize that, oh my gosh, that thunderstorm that might have started in Florida, it is trickling all the way across the Earth to Africa. I mean, it looks like neurons firing in a brain, you know? I was like, holy moly, there is not a single thing on Earth that's alive or not alive that isn't connected in some way and dependent on everything else. And that's why I think the simplicity of the idea of we live on a planet, we're all Earthlings, you know, only border that matters is that thin blue line of atmosphere is so critical for us all to understand.
If there are lake beds that are drying up, if there's the rainforest starting to disappear, signs of pollution, you can see those from space. But the other thing that we've learned is that if we do a good job in trying to take care of our planet, the planet can heal itself. We can see that in observations from space. But we need to give our planet a chance to recover.
When it comes to planet Earth, I want people to be aware that we are on a planet. Your planet is your spaceship. It provides you with all the life support you need, and we have to choose to live like crew members on this ship so that we can all survive and thrive.
Seeing the Earth from above, from the outside, with your own human eyes, changes you as a person.
The space between the surface of the Earth and the top of the atmosphere, and it's such this thin little sliver, and that's the only place I've ever been before now, and now we're gliding above it, and so you feel removed, but you also feel connected in some regards. So there's all of these thoughts and emotions and sensations that hit you all at once.
It was the first time that I had the perspective of how big Earth was out our window and that we were no longer on it. This was really the first time that I thought, wow, we are looking back at Earth. We are no longer on Earth.
When you live on the station, you're a resident, and everyone who's lived on the station feels that way. We are residents of space, and we have hundreds of experiences that are burned in our psyche forever.
Seeing the world as it is, the fragile, thin atmosphere that keeps us alive, that makes Earth habitable, it makes you appreciate this beautiful rock that we get to travel through space in.
This experience is so unusual and so different than anything you've ever done in your life that it's hard to grasp it all.
I'd never imagined in my entire life getting to see something that beautiful. It was so foreign for the human mind to look at that, to see that total black of space, to see the Earth highlighted that way.
There's an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the experience that so few humans have had to be off the planet and look down and appreciate how beautiful it is and how perfect it is. We're so fortunate to live on such a perfect planet, positioned where it is in the solar system.
It is heart-stopping. It is soul-pounding. It is breathtaking.
Subscribe for more space.
The International Space Station isn't just a symbol. It's a powerhouse of cutting-edge science, constantly revealing secrets that defy Earth's limitations and drive us farther into the cosmos.
Our mission is research and science. We have experiments mounted on the outside of the station that are looking at Earth. We study our own bodies and how they react to space, to weightlessness, to radiation. And that helps not only us go on further in future missions, but also helps for medical research back home. And then we study lots of different things as well, like materials, combustion, all sorts of things that help us understand life back on Earth.
Yeah! Microgravity doesn't play by the rules. It flips them upside down, transforming how liquids flow, how flames burn, and unraveling biological mysteries before our eyes.
I saw some heart tissues beating in space, and it was incredible.
So Tom, we see that top one beating. Looks like happy heart cells.
But we're not just along for the ride. We're explorers, diving headfirst into the challenge and harnessing the power of this unparalleled platform, just as we have been for decades. We're on a relentless quest for answers, seeking to understand the intricate workings of the human body in space and ensuring future crews stay safe on their daring journeys beyond Earth's orbit.
The human aspect of human space exploration is always going to be very important for decades to come.
And when it comes to technology, we're not waiting around. We're discovering new ways to grow crops in harsh environments and engineering innovations to tackle Earth's greatest challenges.
We have amazing technology that allows us to recycle water and create water for us to drink. It's delicious.
Microgravity isn't just a curiosity, it's a game changer in the fight against diseases back on Earth, paving the way for breakthroughs that benefit us all and enabling new economic opportunities in space.
Welcome Axiom 3 on board the International Space Station.
From our vantage point more than 200 miles above Earth, we are not just spectators. We're gaining unprecedented insights into the world we call home, and we're sharing our findings openly. We're not just achieving results today, we're sparking inspiration in future generations of explorers and embracing the power of global collaboration as we reach for the stars.
What was your favorite experiment on the International Space Station?
Toby, great question. My favorite experiment was the one that I got to eat. It was us growing hatch chili peppers in our plant habitat.
Station Huntsville on 2, we have video in Node 1. Look at those chili peppers.
And as we soar through space at 17,500 miles per hour, each moment is a step closer to unlocking the mysteries of our Earth, our universe, and propelling our pioneering spirit even farther into space. So come along for the ride aboard the International Space Station.